Hello, my name is Mara and welcome to Books Like Whoa. So I was tagged to do the Bookish Bookin Book tag by Damian, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to do it, and then I saw Dane Reeds, who he was also tagged in this, do his, and I was like, I have to do this just so that I can mention Dane's video, because it included a reading that had me literally on the floor laughing. So like, I recommend that. I'll link both of their videos. And I'm gonna try to do this like rapid fire style, so we'll see how quickly I can get through this. Number 1, what is a well-loved book that you hated? Let's go with The Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling. I know that it is not universally beloved, but I was firmly in the camp when I read it last year of like, the fuck, this is not actually by you. This is by these two other dudes on the cover, and this is completely selling out the character of Hermione. Number 2 is, what is a guilty pleasure book? I don't know if it's wanting me to name a guilty pleasure book or define it. I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. Like, life is too short to feel guilty about things that are not hurting anybody that you're enjoying. I guess, I mean, the most typical answer for me would be the romances I read, because they are books that are directed at women and not of high literary quality and therefore are considered derisable, when similar genres that are more aimed at men are much more respectable, but whatever. Misogyny, patriarchy at work there. Guilty, okay, what am I reading right now? I have Man Card. I believe I have that out right now from the library from Serena Bowen, so let's go with that. Number 3 is, have you ever spoiled a book for someone, and if so, which? And I did accidentally. My sweet, sweet classmate Sean in high school, one of the nicest guys I went to school with, I accidentally spoiled the ending of Lord of the Rings for him. I felt awful because I thought he said he was done, or that he had like only a couple of chapters left, and I was like, oh my god, like this stuff with Gollum, whatever, and he was like, what? Oh, I felt so bad about that. Number 4 is, what book has made you ugly cry? I mean, so many. I call those the weepers. I think the book that like made me truly like heave on my bed with sobs is probably The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. It is essentially the kind of underline of that one would be Jesuits in space, and oh my gosh, that book it is a rough ride. It is a beautiful book that I really recommend, but it is bleak. Number 5 is, what is your latest DNF? I think my latest DNF is probably Party Girls Die in Pearls by Plum Skies. I did not like that book at all. Yeah, not for me. Fine if other people enjoyed it, but I pretty much hated it. Number 6 is, what book have you read due to controversy? And I don't know that I really have ever read a book purely for controversy. I remember feeling very scandalous because I was going to fundamentalist school at the time, reading Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. When that came out, I read that on a plane to Europe, and I felt very like, I'm reading contraband, so maybe that. And I know it was controversial at the time because of the religious elements, so yeah, let's go with that one. Number 7 is, have you read a whole book where you question the author's sanity? No, I don't think so. I think the one that made me most just like, what is going on with your head, is James Joyce's Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, just because of some of the details he chose to include, which is a part of what makes it great, I know, but that stuff about the lice was a lot. And actually, that's a book that I feel like the last book in it ruined it. Like, I think if he had ended where, like, The Thing in the Water, that would have been a great book. But anyway, side note. Number 8 is, what is the most cringe-worthy book you've ever read? And I'm gonna go with Ritual of Proof by Dara Joy. I did an entire WTF review about that particular book, so I will link that up in the cards. But yeah, Reader's Digest version is, this is Pride and Prejudice on the moon with a gender reversal where men have membranes that are supposed to be the equivalent of hymens, and it is interesting. Number 9 is, what is a book you've read solely due to the cover? And I don't think I've ever done that, so I'm gonna go with the book with the most beautiful cover that I've recently read, and I'm gonna go with The Hazelwood for that because it is just a gorgeous cover and I really, really love the book. Number 10 is, name a book that you're embarrassed to admit you've read, and again, I don't really believe in that. I guess in theory, the most embarrassing books that I've read are like the random Kindle Unlimited paranormal romances that have like terrible names. Like if I'm looking for some brain candy, that is my number one go-to, is indie authors on Kindle Unlimited. Those get crazy, but they're always like 90 pages, and if you just need like a quick little piece of brain candy, they are a great place to go. Number 11 is, name an unknown book you wish more people had heard of. Well, I mean, I feel like it's hard to pick something totally unknown. The two things that come to mind, one is the Natural series. I really, really enjoyed that series. It's a YA, basically it's YA Criminal Minds, and I think it's just really, really well done. I've thoroughly enjoyed that entire series. And the other one that comes to mind is Johannes Cabal by Jonathan L. Howard. The Natural series is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The Johannes Cabal series is by Jonathan L. Howard, and he's basically, it's steampunky, and it's playing with a lot of different genre conventions. So both of those I think deserve more love than they get. Number 12 is, name a favorite villain. So I guess I'll go old school and say like the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia, or Voldemort from Harry Potter. Like, those are some of the essentially like formative, iconic villains, at least for me. Number 13 is, name a book you enjoyed that you read that is outside the norm of the genre you usually read. And I'm somebody who reads pretty much every genre, so I'm not really sure how to answer that. I guess I can say, what's something I've read recently that was a little bit of a push for me? Well, I've been reading more YA than I normally do, and I've been enjoying it more than I usually do. Yeah, I'll just say that I've read, Truly Devious. How about that? Like, that's a YA mystery, and I'm finding that I actually really like YA mysteries, like with The Naturals, and then with Truly Devious, I'm realizing that like I should spend some time coming up with some more titles in that area because I enjoy it when I read it. Number 14 is, name tropes that you actually enjoy reading, and I actually have a whole series that I'm doing on Know Your Tropes. So I've done one for mystery and one for romance, where I talked about some of the tropes that I really like. Off the top of my head, things that I tend to like are locked room mysteries or isolated house mysteries. I really enjoy, in romance, I really enjoy like forced proximity type romances. I enjoy fake or like marriage of convenience type stories in romance. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tropes I enjoy. So like I said, you should check those videos out if you want to know more. And I'll have more coming in that series. I think the next one I'm going to do is literary fiction. And finally, number 15, what inspired you to join Booktube? I guess I would say the first Booktuber I ever watched was Chapter Stacks. So I would say her, in the sense of like making me aware that Booktube was a thing. And then the person who pushed me over the edge to do it was Peter Mon, just because Peter likes books, just because he has so much energy, and it really like cemented for me like, okay, you don't have to be like 20. Not that, I mean, I'm 30. It's not that I'm that old. It's just, you know, there's a lot of very young people on Booktube, which I think is fantastic. But he kind of just like he inspired me to say like, yeah, you don't have to be like in high school to enjoy doing this and to, you know, find a viewership. So yeah, I would say those two, Chapter Stacks and Peter Likes Books. Okay, so that will do it. And thank you to Damian for tagging me. And like I said, I will link his video in the description box, as well as Dane's, because again, he gives you some my dad wrote a porno realness in terms of his reading in his video. It really did kill me. So anyway, if you like this tag, feel free to do it. Consider yourself tagged. But yeah, I think that will do it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below. And I think that will do it. I hope you guys are having a really great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!